Hi, this is John from Proper Coils, and today we're having a look at the Ripsaw RDA from Bearded Viking Customs and Suicide Mods. So here we have the Ripsaw RDA from Bearded Viking Customs and Suicide Mods. I picked this up at the UK Expo about 10 days ago, and I've been using it for the last 10 days. On the side here we have Bearded Viking Customs. On this side, Suicide Mods. This side, nothing, the design of the box. This side gives you the three different color options. So you have gunmetal, matte black, and stainless steel. So this one is stainless steel. On the back here, you have your contents of your box. So you have your 28mm RDA. You have 10 individual airflow options on the RDA. You have a dual chamber intake design, inner juice ramp, which I'll show you, quick release drip top, which I'll also show you, and quick release squonk pin. So we'll open her up. So it comes with an accessory pouch. In this accessory pouch, you have some black O-rings, you have an Allen key, and you have a gold-plated 510 studded pin. The studded pin you get in the RDA itself has a little grub screw in it that you can remove with this Allen key, which will turn it into a squonkable RDA, or you can just swap it out and put this. You can put this gold-plated 510 in if you wish. So let's have a look at the RDA. We'll give it a zoom. Now there's actually a bit of design and thought gone into this, because it's not your regular RDA. So I'll take it apart and go through each bit. So you have the logo for Bearded Viking Customs, and you have Suicide Mods. This is serial number 88. You can see there on the bottom that there is that little grub screw, similar to like some of the Vapors Cloud RDAs. You can remove that pin and it'll turn this into a squonkable RDA. Your 510 is protruding. It doesn't look like it's protruding as much as you might like, but that insulator is fairly thick, so I wouldn't have any worries using this on a mech, any sort of hybrid mech. So A10 drip tip on the top, and you can see how your airflow works. So this spins. You have 5 holes either side, and you can spin this top section. This turns and it closes and opens your 5 airflow holes at the top, so it's top airflow. And this piece actually turns off or comes off, so if you fully turn it to the right, it will come apart, and you can see your airflow fins there. And this actually comes apart more again, so I'll stick this on the Bearded Viking Customs Addy stand I got at the UK Expo last week, and we'll open up the rest of the RDA. So you can see here at the top cap there's a bit more going on. So this has a locking mechanism, so you can see these pins here. There's a locking pin here and a locking pin here on the base, which means that this locks into place. So once your RDA is sitting on your device, it's not good. The base, the main section or the body of the RDA isn't going to move, but, which is a really good thing, this section will actually move independently of the airflow, which means that if you're cutting down the airflow, just say you cut the airflow down, put your top back on, and just say you cut the airflow down to, just say 3 holes. So I have 2 holes closed and I have 3 holes open. Ordinarily, you're without being able to move the RDA because it's locked in place, your airflow is going to come in at a not a centered angle towards your coil. It's going to be hitting sort of the side of the coil. But the fact that you can actually turn turn those 3 holes and center them is like a really, really good design. I like that. So instead of having your airflow come in here and hitting the side of the coil, you're actually turning it and it's aiming directly on the side of the coil again, even after cutting down your airflow. Really well thought out, really well designed. This piece actually pops out. So you need to get your base top piece off again. And then this piece will hopefully pop off. There we go. There's a little gasket here. I'm after losing it. There we go. Put that back in. There we go. So let's take a look at the deck. So we have flathead screws, which I know a lot of people don't like flathead screws, but I actually rather flathead screws. The center block here, it does take up a lot of room, but the fact that it's a 28mm RDA, you're going to fit decent sized coils in here. So the coils I'm going to be using are 3mm, but you will definitely be able to get some 3.5s in. But I think for me, 3mm is the way to go. 4 I think is going to be fairly tight. But yeah, 3 or 3.5 I think is going to be the sweet spot. On the packaging, it did describe, I'll get me wording right, it described inner juice ramp. So the inner juice ramp they're speaking about on the packaging is this little ramp here. So you can see where it splits. So if you're dripping down into the RDA, your juice is going to evenly disperse on both sides of the RDA and hit both sides of your cotton, which is good. The gap between the screws, or your grub screws, is fairly large, so it is sort of indicating chunkier coils. The coils I'll be using are frame staples and they're fairly chunky, so you'll see what they look like when I put them in. There's no nothing too complicated about wicking this. It's an RDA, so you're going to pop your coil in, you're going to drop the wick, hit the bottom, make sure you hit the bottom of the deck. There's nothing really else to explain with the wicking of this. The way the airflow works, so I'll just piece this back together so it makes more sense. Yeah, so the way your airflow works is, I spoke to Brent at the expo and I just wanted to get a full explanation from of the airflows just to make sure I got this right for you guys. So, because there isn't actually any reviews out for this at the minute that I've seen. So your airflow is coming in from the top, obviously both sides, and it's coming down at a 35-degree angle, Brent said. So it's coming in at a 35-degree angle. It is hitting your coil sort of top side on. So this direction here, it's gonna, Brent said, to try and keep the your coils level with the top of the deck here, or the main piece, the block. Keep the top of your coils level with this. Your airflow is going to hit the sides and then go under your coil, come through this channel, and then up through your drip tip, up through this hole and up through your drip tip. So you should be getting sort of side and then underflow airflow hit on your coil, which is good. Underflow airflow is always going to give you decent flavor. You should get fairly big clouds with this if you get the right build in this. It's designed for chunky coils, which is expected with a RDA coming from Suicide Mods, because they make they're in that genre of flavor chasing RDAs and devices and stuff. So yeah, so that's really how the airflow works. That's the rundown of the RDA. So let's get some coils in this. So we're going to stick some frame staples from Proper Coils. So propercoils.com. So these are made of 6 pieces of 0.4 Canthal, framed with 2 pieces of 26 gauge Canthal and wrapped in 38 gauge Canthal. So a full Canthal build. And the ohm out dual coil at 0.09 to 0.1 depending on your leg length, and inner diameter is 3mm, and this is what they look like. So let's get them in the Ripsaw RDA. So that's the Ripsaw RDA all wicked up, coiled up and juiced up. Let's bring it back up top and I'll give you my pros and cons. So back up top with the Ripsaw RDA from Bearded Viking Customs and Suicide Mods. So let's go through the pros and cons. We'll go through the cons first. The first con is the price. Now these are retailing for around £45, 42. I seen it's the cheapest. I think between £42 and £45. They're not the cheapest RDA on the market, so I'm going to have to just mention that as a con. The next con is going to be the fact that this is probably going to be used by a lot of people on mechs, and a lot of mech users have a habit of purging. I certainly have a habit of purging when I'm using a mech. So because the airflow is angled at 35 degrees, it's coming up towards your face when if you purge. So I'll show you now. So it's definitely going to be a con for some people. It's people who constantly purge. It's not a comfortable vape. It's not going to be a comfortable vape for them, so I'll have to mention that as a con. The last con is a bit of an odd one. The drip tip is fine. I have no issue with the drip tip. It's perfectly functions well, looks good, fine. I just was slightly disappointed that there wasn't like some more like a resin drip tip with it, because Bearded Viking Customs, Brent over at Bearded Viking Customs obviously makes custom drip tips, so I was sort of expecting like a better drip tip that it comes with. It just sort of comes with a standard Delrin black drip tip. So not a massive con. It's not it doesn't take massively away from the RDA, but it was just something I would have expected with a product from Brent. On to the pros now. So everything else is a pro. So build quality from Suicide Mods as usual is very, very good. Fit and finish is very, very good. O-ring tolerance is perfect. Everything sort of fits together very well. Looks wise, I think it looks really, really good. It reminds me a bit of an Asgard, sort of the shape of it. Maybe not the airflow, but the shape of it. The fact that the logo, there is a logo on the side of it, but it's very subtle. It's not in your face, which is nice. And the rest of it is just clean looking. So very nice looking RDA, which I like. The fact that it's 28mm for me is a plus. I like a larger RDA. There's a lot of mods out there that are now accommodating the larger RDAs, so we've got lots of options to put it on, especially mechs like this, the Atocha. That'll handle a 30mm, so a 28 on that looks really good. The fact that it will take chunky enough coils, it's not going to take like 4mm or something ridiculous, but it'll take 3.5s. It'll obviously take your 3s, your standard 3mm coils. So you've got a bit of option there. It will take series coils, 3.5, probably 7 or 8 wraps. It's going to take those. So that's going to be a pro. It has a 7mm juice well in the bottom of the deck, so that's definitely going to be a pro. You've got that squonking option. You've got that little grub screw that you can take out of the 510 it comes with, and you can turn it into a squonking RDA. And I think this would work very well as a squonking RDA because you've got top airflow. So very, not leak proof, but very leak resistant. Lastly, the flavour is really, really good off this. I've been using this. I got this at Expo 10 days ago, and I've been using it basically every day since I came back from Expo, just to give it a good thorough review. And I have to say, very, very happy with how it's vaping, and the flavour is very good. If you're into your cloudy RDAs, it might be something for you. It's plenty of airflow. It's plenty of airflow for a series build. Plenty of airflow for like a single battery mech build, like a 0.1 build. So I better give it a toot. Yeah, so with the right build in there, you can blow clouds to your heart's content. So yeah, very good. So yeah, that's it from top to bottom. That was my review of the Ripsaw from Bearded Viking Customs and Suicide Mods. If you like the review, or you like the reviews in general, make sure you hit the subscribe and the notification bell. If you're looking for any handmade coils, make sure you head over to propercoils.com. I hope you enjoyed the review. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.